All right, guys. So we are about to show you how to build the concrete slab as well as a drainage. For the start of the video, I wanted to start with a massive mistake. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm learning as I go. This is ready-made concrete. The type is 2025, which is not appropriate for a pool. I had to take every single one of those bags in my Helix truck, load it manually, and return it to the shop, which wasn't fun. We ended up actually getting some professionals to pour it. Well, we poured it. They brought the concrete in 3037. Here we got the first drain. You don't have to do this. No one actually does it in any of the videos I've watched, but because of all the water problems I've seen, I decided to do it. So, a rectangular drain with very large stone that we actually picked up from the old drain we broke. All that goes into the corner, and then we can pop it out. Here we are just drying it all out so that we can actually put pebble all over it so that it doesn't become a big fat hot mess, and we'll be able to work better. Again, the other drain that we're gonna put will also go in that corner, so we'll have no issues.
All right. Good morning. So another day, another bit of gravel. So I got this gravel right here. Every single region of France, Switzerland will have their own type of gravel. The most common in my region is 616, 6 being the lowest grain, 16 being the higher grain, right? So you can see it really is just mix of everything. All you want to make sure you don't have any sand in here. We have the drainage all across. Now we're pouring all of that before pouring the concrete base. Then we're gonna have the yellow thing over there. I'm gonna put basically all around the concrete base that we're gonna pour in about, well, next week really. Then you have this pipe over there, very important one. This is basically where the water is gonna come in. I used a heavy duty industrial PVC pipe that you actually use essentially for big public works, generally for drainage, but that does the trick. I pierced a bunch of holes at the bottom of it, so all the things that you saw where all the stones is, the drains that I put are all going in there. Then I pump it all out so it comes out of the pool, and then obviously we're gonna have the further drainage. So we have gone completely OTT on drainage, but after everything I saw, I just wanted to make sure that we're not gonna get any bad surprises. You see videos all over YouTube about pools essentially coming out of the ground because the water pushes it upwards. Obviously, this is a concrete pool, it's less of an issue, but still, you wanna make sure that everything is good. So far the process is going well. Roof is holding up, which is very important, as I mentioned earlier. And we use this machine also to basically beat down everything to like essentially have a very smooth surface. All right, so just getting over next to the pool. Had a good weekend. I'm kidding, was awful. It rained massively, and what happened, and what I hoped wouldn't happen, happened. So you can see here, essentially the dirt just fell into the pool. I was so depressed I couldn't bother to even like take a picture. Cleared it all up this morning. Now we've actually put the tarp all around. So now we're gonna start heating this so we can actually pour the concrete and keep kind of a steady temperature above 5 degrees Celsius in this entire space. As you can see, we have put the wooden things. The 2 wooden planks are there only to actually hold it while we're putting it together. We're gonna remove them, but that was necessary to basically put this whole thing in place. As you can see, just look at those little wooden bits on the side. This is so that when we pour the concrete, it doesn't push out of it. So very important to have. We have put the gravel. We use the trampling machine all throughout the weekend. That machine right there to really kind of put the rocks in the soil so that we have a good basis for the concrete pour. So quite excited. We'll get this essentially metal bits in no time, and we'll be pouring the concrete, and that's really it. Okay, so we built this little thing to essentially bend the metal. So here you see how it works. This gives you proper 90-degree angle. There's tons of YouTube tutorials on how to build these things, but buy this from new will cost you about 200 francs. Build it yourself will cost about 5 francs. Here you go. Essentially what we're doing here is building a bunch of those little guys. Then we attach them onto the metal bars. And as you can see here, this metal part goes underneath the grid. All of that was built by hand, so we didn't buy any prepared metal, simply because it's a lot cheaper to actually do yourself than to actually buy. This is way too overspecified, but as you know, I'm worried about this swimming pool, about what we're gonna do, etc. So I don't mind over-specifying the pool. I think you can go into 8 millimeters for the base. We've gone actually 10 to 12, depending on what metal bars. Again, this is what you build bunkers with. So clearly over-specified. Nothing really has changed. I mean, all of that has taken quite a bit of time. You have essentially a liner underneath the metal, and then you put the metal on top. And then obviously we are going to be pouring the concrete, and very soon we will hopefully be finishing the drain around the pool. There has been going a lot of work. As you can see, we are working covered, and I cannot stress this, but you do want a roof, no matter actually what the weather is. I've been checking out a lot of YouTube videos, and nearly every single time rain is an issue. So just cover, spend that extra time. We've enclosed entirely the space here, and we are gonna get the concrete pour very soon, and that's basically how you bend those little things. All right. So I'm trying to get a video in before we pour the concrete tomorrow. It's 8:30 p.m., which is why we're still hard at it. Here you have the PVC thing and the bottom drain for the cover, the pool cover. And this is the main drain, bottom drain. So this one will be a bit higher up because it needs to make room for tiles. This one will be covered. We don't really care what it's going to look like. So don't be like me. I asked for a free bottom drain. The guy gave it to me, but obviously he didn't give me any of the of the things to PVC thing to attach it, which is a bit of an issue. So I had to play a bit of a MacGyver at the hardware store here. Pool PVC is much stronger, so you can see this is a gray one. It's a bit weaker, but because it's going to be poured into concrete, it doesn't really matter. Actually, that is slightly more weak. The metal is 12 millimeter. That's what you use for bunkers. This rail right here that was built all around, that's 6 mil and 8 mil. That is essentially supporting the structure alongside those metal bits that come from an old project we just cut pieces out from. And that's essentially it. 3 heaters. We are at 0 degrees Celsius. We really want to get this up to 5 degrees. Don't know if we'll get to, but I did buy some cover essentially to, some product to add to the concrete mix for freezing temperatures. We should be okay. We don't have another choice. Water is no longer an issue because it is freezing, and we're about to have 5 days of sunshine and cold, which to be honest is good, not having to fight with water. So I think right now we're a bit burnt out from this whole thing. It's can't wait to go to bed and have the concrete mixer tomorrow. All right, so we got the concrete things. Number one lesson I think is to always make sure that you warn all your neighbors that you will be blocking the streets. This is fat, 8 cubic meters of pure concrete. We got the latex to make it like hydrofuge, and we got the anti-freeze right here. So let's get going here.
Bottom line, they're pros. They have good concrete. They know how to mix. All the liquid we gave them, they poured it in, and then we just did the job in an hour.
All right, so we have right now Taras essentially flattening the concrete. You don't have a video of us putting the concrete in here. Simply we needed 2 people, one raking, the other one holding the thing that was pouring the concrete. We need this to be flat, perfect, so that we are able to put the concrete blocks all around in the angle that you see on the left. As you can see on the green here, that's a laser, shows that really the concrete is not flat, which is why Taras is currently flattening it all out. The drain will be coming in just a second, as soon as this is more or less done, and we'll likely let it dry for 2 days. We've brought the heat up to 3 degrees Celsius in here. Quite happy about that. There is antifreeze in the concrete mix, so we should normally be okay, really. So let's get this drained and let's finish this off. All right, so 5 days on, and we have a concrete base. I let it dry a little bit before walking on it, so we didn't do any work for 5 days. Temperature is about 5 degrees. I had some heaters all around, didn't do much, but we stayed above above 0. Ground temperature is going to be warmer as well, so we are good. We are putting the drainage, I mentioned it, so it's a pipe that has tiny little holes in it for the water to go in, and then all of that is going to connect with the decompression chamber here, so we can pull the water out if need be. Protection, very important, because if you have it like this and you fall, you impale and you die. Unfortunately, I didn't have actually enough of those orange things, so we decided that this side is the side we don't want to be falling on. This film that we wrap around the drainage pipe is actually lets water through. It was white. I ran out of, I mismeasured, so I had to buy some different colored, but it won't make a blind bit of difference.